G'day ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the YouTube channel. How are we all doing today? Today's topic, ladies and gents, a little serious. And it's a little bit of a shame I need to bring this up. I actually saw it brought up by another fellow Aussie guy named Send It With Shan. So if you're familiar with Shan Dog, you might know him on Instagram. His YouTube channel, he's only started posting things again recently, but he made a post on Instagram and I'm just going to relate to all of you guys, because I know not all of you guys follow him, and obviously I have a lot of people from other countries. So if you're wondering why the knife, I'm just making sure that, the point really cuts deep, as it were. Cringe, don't care, alright? But before we get into the topic, ladies and gents, g'day, my name is Nathan. I make videos about motorcycles and other things motorcycle related. If you like my content, stick around, subscribe, and leave a comment, join the Discord and all that good stuff. But without further ado, let's get into the topic. What's the topic today, you may ask? Ladies and gents, there is a problem with the motorcycle community, and it's a bit disappointing that we have this problem, and it's a bit of a shame, and it makes it harder for some people to get into the motorcycle community. If you're wondering what it is, it's how we approach and treat female riders in the motorcycling space. Now, you may notice at motorcycle events, group rides, bike meetups and everything, we tend to have a much higher demographic of male riders versus female ones, which is fine, all right? Don't get me wrong. There's nothing wrong with that. But when there is female riders who do get into this, space, especially the attractive ones, as it were, I'm going to say it for this point because it affects all of you. Don't worry. I'm not saying it doesn't affect all female riders, but those who are considered more attractive, they'll suffer more than anyone else. And that is, when they come to these events, you'll find a lot of the riders, the males, not all of them, don't think I'm thinking everybody, but a lot of them will overly sexualize them, say horrible things about them, talk about doing nefarious things about them and with them and on them and to them, etc., and just generally being pigs towards them. Now, I've met female riders at biking groups. I've met many blokes at riding groups. I'm nice to everybody. I don't talk about doing terrible things to them. If you're my mate, I'll talk terrible about you, but that's different. You're my boy or my girl. I'll give you shit. But if you see a stranger and they look good to you, because remember, beauty's a spectrum to everybody, and say you find these people attractive and you talk about you want to run a train on them with your boys, you want to do worse, stuff like that, hold your horses there, cowboy. It's not on. Now, call me what you want. Simping isn't one of them, because at the end of the day, it's human decency to not act a certain way to a certain group of people. Ladies and gents, look, everyone gives everybody shit, but no one should feel uncomfortable in these spaces, especially because, look, a bike meet is meant to be bringing everybody together. I like going to bike groups and group rides and meetups. I'm sure a lot of you guys like going to group rides and meetups. And take a note, how many women do you see at these events, okay? I've met plenty of nice ones. In fact, I've met a bloke who met his missus at one. Happy days. That's not going to happen, all of you. If you guys are going to these bike meets trying to find yourself a biker girlfriend, it's not always going to happen. And in fact, the way you approach some of these girls, you're probably going to start scaring them off. Now, I'm not saying you're a horrible individual, but look, not everybody's there to try and mingle and meet somebody. You know what I'm saying? So if you do end up finding yourself, a nice lady or man at one of these events, happy days. But don't go to them with the intention of hitting on random people, because we're there for the bikes, we're there for the community, we're there to make friends. Very rarely is it the other one. It's like going to a gym to just pick up women, all right? It's not cool. It's kind of sad. But look, if you're going to go and talk to people, be nice about it. Don't go up to your mates and go, oh, there's a hot piece of tail there, mate. I can't wait to do such and such and such to this person, because you're not cool. You're not looking good to everybody, all right? It's kind of, ugh, and it's a shame. And because of this kind of attitude that's been displayed to a lot of these people who come to these events, you find that not many of them like to come back. And it's a shame. Everybody should feel welcome at these events, and everyone should feel pretty comfortable at these events. And look, man, I'm fine with you giving shit to your boys. If you end up making friends with people there, you can give them shit too. To a degree. Obviously, if you just met them, you got to sort of feel it out a little bit, Don't make a thing that pisses them off too much, because look, I know I'm very much in that boat where I overdo it a little bit, but I tend to do it to the people I've known for a while, and they're used to how I talk and how I act and the jokes I make. I'm pretty horrible to my friends. Lovingly, of course, because I have a very, very dark sense of humor. But if I'm seeing a lady in the distance, I'm not going to talk about railing a train on her with my boys. That's just fact. You know what I mean? So all I'm asking, ladies and gents, especially if you're one of my followers and you come there to meet me, you can look and you can window shop with your eyes if you see something that you find attractive. Don't go out of your way to make them uncomfortable. Don't say terrible things about them. You make a comment to everyone saying, look, I find this person, such and such, and they're quite nice to the eyes, look very visually appealing, like a nice Ducati Panigale. You know what I mean? But don't say you want to abuse one like a Ducati Panigale on the track. You know what I mean? Something like that. Have some decency, some respect, some standards, and uphold yourself in a nicer way. Now, look, it's not a purely masculine problem. There are women who will do worse, and there are men who will do worse. All I'm asking is, ladies and gents, is when you're at an event like this, behave yourself in a public fashion. Okay? Because at the end of the day, we want more people to come to these bike events. We want more people to get in there, make friends, and get in, have fun, go for these rides, and show off their little shit boxes like mine. So we want everybody to come into these places with a smile. We want everyone to enjoy themselves. Stuff like that, all right? And because the general attitude of people, it's obviously scared some people off. And look, I know riding is a predominantly male hobby, like a lot of things, but in this day and age, we have a lot of ladies who would like to join in as well. And look, it's always been that way, but there are more and more and more. And the more that come in, the more we want to stay, because obviously the more riders on the road, the better. Unfortunately, there was a massive accident today on the freeway. There was 2 guys hammering it down the road. Probably shouldn't have done that. One of them had a massive accident and the engine flew out of the bike. All right? Now, that's a shame. Different thing entirely, but the point is, more and more riders come in. We want more and more riders to stick around, and obviously we don't want to lose them on the way home. But you don't want to send people home or away from these meets because of your attitudes, and unfortunately, it's becoming a problem. Obviously, we can only do so much, and if you see people doing that, you can call them out on that. Obviously, be careful, be respectful, and if you're calling out people, because we don't want you to get attacked because people are unstable. If you think about all the nefarious things you would do to someone who gives you shit, just know there are people that will do worse and will actually act on it. Like, look, if someone gives me shit, I'll talk back to them, and I might think about smacking a bitch. Bitch being, a dickhead in this scenario, not anything specific, but I'll think about it, and unless someone hits me, I'm probably not going to hit them back. But there are people who will snap earlier than me. Now, I will give people shit. I don't tend to snap. But look at road rage videos. You and I will yell at someone on the road. There are people who will break mirrors quickly, and there are others that will quickly pull out a gun, knife, bat, and smack you, or shoot you, or worse. Okay, look, not everybody is wired the same up here as you or I. And you might be one of those people, and you just don't even know it yet, or you do, and you're like, Nathan, what are you on about? I'd kick a bitch in the teeth if I have to. Look, I'm saying is, don't make it more uncomfortable, because also, if you're making people in a bad way, now they'll feel uncomfortable to go to future events, and even then, a shorter term thing, you might make them feel such a way that they leave on their bike in an emotional state, and thus make a bad decision on the way home. You won't know that you've done this, but if they have an accident because they're now in a funky way, inadvertently, you're at fault, even though that can't be proven in a court of law, and you'll probably never know about it, but you don't want to make someone's day or life ruined because of your attitude towards them. You know what I'm saying? So, look, all I'm asking for you, ladies and gents, this is a broad message, but obviously, if you follow me, you should probably be a bit more in the right state of mind, because look, on my channel, we do things the right way, as you've seen. I don't break rules. I don't be a dick to people. I like to be pretty law-abiding citizen kind of way, if you know what I mean. My videos should display my attitude in the riding world, and that should translate to you guys, hopefully. But if you find yourself acting a certain way, call yourself out on it. Don't act like a dick. Don't think you're the God's gift to mankind kind of scenario. But that's pretty much the point of this video. Treat people with some decency. Don't speak ill on others at a bike meet. And of course, don't be creepy. Don't make them uncomfortable. Don't say strange things. Because at the end of the day, if you're a bloke and you're saying these things about women, imagine if you have a sister, or if they're saying about your mother, you'd be pretty ticked off about it. And if you're not, you'd probably be a little upstairs. But take that into account. Be nice. Don't go out of your way to, say you don't do this if you do. Just be better. But ladies and gents, that is all I have time for today. Think about it, because we don't want to have to use one of these bad boys on you, you know what I'm saying? Otherwise, take it easy. Keep it cheesy. Peace. Bye.